Am I the a-hole for leaving my partner and refusing to be involved in any way, shape, or form after she stopped taking the pill and pierced our condoms to have a child? Original post. My partner has been on the pill throughout our relationship, and we've been in a bit of a battle these past few weeks over having children. I categorically said that I don't want them and started using condoms for double protection. This morning, she told me that she's pregnant, and I asked how this could happen when we'd been so careful. She admitted to coming off the pill and pursing through the condoms that we have stored. I've said that I don't want this, and that I'm not up for marrying into a relationship based on lies. She says she's keeping it, and has already told her friends, as according to her, she done the test 8 weeks ago and was keeping it quiet in the hopes that I'd change my mind. I have no idea what to do here. Help. I am in England and I am 29. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. This is stealthing and falls under conditional consent. You should read the Sexual Offences Act 2003 Section 74. If an act falls outside of the given conditions, then the act is non-consensual and goes against the consent given. You did not consent to her poking holes in the condoms and she has done something illegal. I hope you can document this via text messages and file a complaint against her. Not the a-hole. I wonder if he still has some of the condoms that had been tampered with. If so, maybe that could help make his case as well. Do not block them. Send her a text saying it was really hurtful that she went off the pill and broke the condoms without telling you. When she replies, you have it in writing. Go to police. Save backups of the texts. Reproductive coercion has been illegal in the UK since 2015. Seek out a legal counsel as soon as you can. Also, get a DNA test. She's crazy. She may very well have cheated and just lied about the condoms. That, or she says she's pregnant but isn't, hoping that he lets down his guard and do it unprotected, thus resulting in a pregnancy. Seen it happen to a few friends. I just don't understand why they don't find someone who wants a kid, instead of baby trapping someone who doesn't. Plenty of men wants kids. Find those guys and procreate. The tattoo artist that did most of my tattoos had this happen. I was getting a big piece done and was there about weekly for quite a while. He had told me that his ex was back in his life after being broken up for a couple of months because she was 3 to 4 months pregnant with his kid from before they broke up. My memory of her was that they tried really hard to make it work for years, but were completely incompatible in every way. Trying to be supportive, I asked if he was excited, and he said, I guess so. I asked if he's going to her next OB appointment, saying that maybe he'll be excited to see the ultrasound in person. I also asked if he got to see any ultrasound photos yet. He said she hasn't had any appointments at all. She had great insurance. Interesting. I told him he needs to ask her when the next appointment is so you can plan to be there. Have a pregnancy test on hand. And if she dodges, tell her to take a pregnancy test right then and there. He'll get the truth out of her. He did this and she buckled. She said she lied about being pregnant as the only way to win him back, and was hoping to become pregnant during their makeup/back together phase. He left and never looked back. I was floored that it was true. I thought I was going to sound crazy and downright cruel at my suggestion to challenge her, but some things stank about her timing and story. Good on you for helping him dodge that bullet. Holy smokes. Now for the updates. Firstly, thanks so much for all your comments. I didn't expect this to blow up quite so much as it did. Secondly, I want to get a few things straight as people seem to be struggling with timelines. A. My partner and I were due to get married in a few short weeks. We have had many long and involved conversations during our relationship about us both wanting to remain a child-free family over the years that we have been together. Around 2 to 3 months ago, she started to appear to change their mind, which I feel insecure and unhappy about, as it is not something that I want from life, which is why I booked a vasectomy through NHS. I cannot afford to go private as money is very tight. Again, another reason I do not want children. B. She admitted to tampering with condoms and said that she'd come off the pill several weeks ago. At that point, prior to her saying that kids might be an option for her, we were still having sex and I was under the impression that we were protected as she was on a pill. I have made no secret about how I do not want kids, and she is fully aware of my reasons behind that, which I do not have to share with strangers on the internet. C. She has shown me a test and it confirms that she is pregnant. I have asked that she terminate. She has refused, and I feel the trust has gone completely from our relationship. We are now in the process of canceling the engagement, which she isn't happy with at all, and has said that I'm ruining her life. Now, for those people telling me to go to therapy, man up, or that I'm lying, it's great that you disagree with me, but I'd never tell you to attend therapy if your worldview differed to mine. That I should be at fault after my partner has lied to me, apparently for months, and that I'm a liar. Here's a few other things for you. 1. No, I do not like kids and I don't like entitled parents. I see it the same as disliking dogs, cats, or birds. That is my opinion. Not for everyone, and not all people have to tolerate your madness. My disinterest and lack of care towards them is one of the many reasons why it would be idiotic for me to be a father. 2. Those calling BS on the 21-plus wedding venue thing are just wrong. It's a stipulation of the venue we chose, nothing more and nothing less. 3. Some plain thing happened several years ago. The smoking area fiasco occurred over a year ago. Colleagues bringing their newborns into work is a continued pain, and just really gets my goat, just like some people don't like Susan to eat her tuna mayo baguette. It shows a complete and utter lack of etiquette and thought by parents who are coming out in their droves to tell me how wrong I am about their decision. We'll provide updates as and when I get through all the comments. Be kind, people. Now for the full update. I spoke to a lawyer earlier today who has advised that as we are not married that I won't automatically be added to the birth certificate. Woohoo! My ex-partner can still claim that I am the biological father, but without my consent to a DNA test, isn't likely to be able to prove it, unless it is ordered by the court. But as I've been coerced into this, my lawyer thinks ex-partner and family will back down as I have evidence. The lawyer advised that I don't waive my parental rights yet, as it would indicate that I still believe the fetus could be mine. So I just have to bide my time and leave the country till this all blows over. The lawyer also suggested that I go self-employed, but didn't divulge the specifics. My ex-partner has admitted to coming off birth control and piercing the condoms, which she said she'd done around 3 months ago, as she knew I was due a vasectomy early next week and thought I'd changed my mind. She has refused to terminate, which is her right, and I've refused any involvement. Has anyone been through this before and managed not to pay out? I think I've got a pretty good case. Next story. Am I the a-hole for saying I'm second-guessing having a baby with my husband after he asked for a paternity test? I, 26 female, and my husband Alex, 27 male, have been married for a year. Recently, I found out I was pregnant. This was not planned. However, ever since we got married, we have not been using protection every time we got intimate, and I am currently not on any birth control. My guess is that I'm only a few weeks along. I haven't seen a doctor yet. Anyway, I told him when he got back home from work yesterday. I personally was very happy about it because I've always wanted to be a mom. I was pretty sure I was all smiles when I told him, and I thought he would be too once he found out the news. Let me add that he's been neutral in having kids. My assumption was wrong. Immediately, he gets super upset and asks how in the heck this could happen. I explained to him that while it was sudden, we hadn't been using protection every time, so it wasn't that surprising. I thought he would have understood. For some reason, he didn't. After a few minutes of back and forth, he demanded a paternity test and told me that there was no way it was his. I was hurt and insulted. Let me be very clear that I did not and will never cheat on my husband. I have also never given him any reason for him to be suspicious about me cheating on him either. I was so taken aback that he doubted my loyalty enough to ask for a paternity test. I told him I couldn't believe he was seriously asking me for that. He said that I wasn't helping my case and that if I had nothing to hide, then I would take the test and prove my loyalty to him. I honestly can't remember all that I said, but I ended up saying something along the lines of, if you're doubting me and my loyalty so much that you think I cheated on you and got pregnant with someone else's baby, then I don't think I want one with you anymore. I don't want to be tied to someone who clearly doesn't trust me. He blew up at me and accused me of cheating once again. It was a big argument, and he said I was being crappy, dismissing his concerns and saying that asking for a paternity test was valid. In the end, I agreed to the test, but said that I stood by my words. Had to highlight that because some people are saying that I didn't agree to it when I very much did. We haven't spoken since the argument and he's currently at work. I went to my friend for advice, and she said that while he was out of line for accusing me of cheating, I shouldn't have said that to him over one of his valid concerns, and that clearly had a reason to feel that way about the situation. I cannot fathom what made him feel like I was cheating on him. I was just so hurt that he would insult me like that and accuse me of doing something so disgusting, when I thought we were supposed to have trust in each other. But am I the a-hole for saying what I did? Edit. A lot of people are suggesting he got a secret vasectomy that failed, and that did cross my mind. During the argument, I did ask if he got a vasectomy or was infertile, and that's why the baby couldn't be his. But he dismissed that, and continued saying it just couldn't be his, without providing me a solid reason. So in that regard, I have really no idea what to say. Edit 2. I feel I should elaborate on the neutral about kids part. I told him while we were still just dating that no kids was a deal breaker for me. He said that was fine, because his stance on it was that if we ever have kids, it's fine. If something happens and we don't, it's fine. I'm calling that neutral since I don't know what else to call it. So when I told him I was pregnant, I thought he would be fine with it like he said. But apparently he just changed his mind about that, and he didn't tell me. And also, I have no issues with men wanting paternity tests. I just had an issue with him blatantly accusing me of being a cheater with no solid proof to back it up along with it. Has unprotected sex, wife gets pregnant. What is the meaning of this? Not the a-hole for sure. Exactly. What did he expect to happen? A free TV? Not the a-hole. Have you considered he may be projecting? This is probably it. Had it happened to a friend, and it's exactly what we thought it was. To be honest, sounds more like a hoping he is not the dad kind of vibes. I'm not saying he's definitely cheating, but people who cheat are pretty likely to project onto their partners and accuse them of cheating, out of guilt or whatever. You don't want a baby with someone who doesn't believe he could be the father, even after having unprotected sex and no reason to assume you're cheating. And unless you two get some significant couples therapy, why would you stay with someone who believes you're cheating on him? True. I was also thinking the other possible reason is he was told he couldn't have children, or a failed vasectomy he lied about, which would make his statement "it can't be mine" make more sense. But if that was the case, he needs to come clean and tell her he had lied to her earlier, and he's still a total a-hole. The first big blow-up I had with my husband was when he accused me of cheating. I wasn't. Never have. Cheating is a personal integrity issue to me, and I'm not that kind of person. I thought he knew that. The accusations died down only to resurface later, and with an escalation in controlling behavior, isolation, emotional abuse, financial abuse, etc., etc. He mistreated our second and last child, because the first was unquestionably his with strong physical resemblance to second didn't. So the accusation started that she wasn't his. We are divorced. He's a deadbeat POS who hasn't seen our kids in 15 years. The abuse got bad. The accusations were the start. When all was said and done, his repeated infidelity came to light. The pathological level of lying. The general all-around crappiness as a human being. Wish Reddit had been a thing where people could have pointed out that he was abusing me and opened my eyes sooner. Could have saved years of psychological damage, suffering, and abuse. OP, his behavior is highly concerning. It is not a reflection of you as a person. You can't love him into trusting you. And a life walking on eggshells is not a life. If you decide to terminate, just know he will use it to character assassinate you as proof you were cheating. He will spread lies. So if you want to do it, do so. But maybe give him his precious DNA test as well. There you go, you POS. Proof the baby I will not have with you was actually yours. Too late. Last story. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my fiancé after he told me he doesn't want children? I'm in a tough spot and could use some outside perspective. I, 28 female, have been engaged to my fiancé, 30 male, for about a year. We've been together for almost 5 years in total, and I always thought we were on the same page about major life goals. For context, I've always wanted to have children. It's been a dream of mine for as long as I can remember. When we first started dating, we discussed our future, and he seemed open to the idea of having kids someday. I never took it as a firm commitment, but it was a comforting thought. Recently, we had a deep conversation about our future, and he dropped a bombshell. He no longer wants children. He said he's considered and realized that he doesn't see himself as a father and doesn't want to take on the responsibilities that come with raising a child. This was a huge shock to me because it feels like a complete reversal of what I thought we both wanted. I tried to understand his perspective and even suggested that maybe we could consider alternatives like adopting or fostering if he felt that parenthood was something he could explore differently. But he was firm about his decision and said he's not open to changing his mind. I took some time to process everything and realized that having children is incredibly important to me, and it's something I've envisioned as a central part of my life. I'm heartbroken, but I've decided to end our engagement because I don't think I can compromise on this fundamental difference in our future goals. I feel awful about the breakup and worried that maybe I'm being unreasonable for ending a relationship over this. I know there are a lot of factors at play, and I don't want to be selfish, but I also can't ignore how deeply this impacts my own dreams and plans for the future. So, am I the a-hole for breaking up with my fiancé because he doesn't want children? You're definitely not the a-hole here. You can't compromise on something so big. It's better to know now than to dive deeper into a marriage where you'd be unhappy. Your future deserves to align with your goals, and it sounds like he's made his choice clear. Sometimes people's life goals change as they have experience with more and more of what's out there. It could be stories from coworkers or seeing things friends or family with kids have gone through, but whatever it is has changed your fiancé's mind, and that's fine for him. It's also fine for you to need to move on and find someone who does want to have kids because that is a goal of yours. I'd say no a-holes here. Good point. Fair play to him that he knew this would be a problem and was upfront with her about it. So many stories of people stringing their partners along for years until the rubber hits the road. No a-holes here. Thank you. If he doesn't want kids, you're respecting his decision instead of hoping you can bully him into kids or having an oops pregnancy. Kids or no kids is a deal breaker. You respect consent. Good luck finding your co-parent. Don't settle for someone who is meh about kids. Get a diaper changing, bottle feeding, enthusiastic about spending time with his kids kind of man. Get a man who won't call his parenting responsibilities babysitting. If he can't cook and clean, swerve. If he games for 18 hours a day, swerve. Not a-hole. You definitely made a right move. Take it from someone, me, who has always been very upfront, from day one, about not wanting kids, only for my partner to divorce me after 14 years because I thought I could change her mind. I was devastated and completely caught off guard. You are doing the most humane thing for both of you by ending it now. I applaud your courage and foresight.